Alright, what's up everybody? I'm here for episode 5? 5 or something. 5, 6, 4, close the door. That's what I say. Anyway, we're here for another episode. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to play some games. Honestly, I was playing a bit on my secret Lee Chess account earlier today, and I am on a little bit of a losing streak. But hopefully I got that out of my system, and I can now dominate chess.com. Let's just get in the golden squares. Let's get our pieces out. Let's get this party started. Let's show this guy what's what. I'm trading because it seems like... Well, that seems good. That's better than my plan. Alright, maybe the losing streak's over. Maybe we're doing alright. Maybe every little thing is gonna be alright. This is going like so poorly for him, and I'm reaping all of the benefits. But we can't throw it away. It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over until the proverbial fat lady sings. Oh, nice. This is awesome. I was nervous. I'm very happy to get this free win at the start. I don't know why this man's being so generous. Let's get the queen in the action. Okay, that attack's over. It's a good try. Nice. 0-1-0. We are gaming, folks. We're officially in gamertory. New 10 minutes. It's party time. Wow, we're playing against Homer Simpson. I wonder if it's really Homer Simpson. I have been doing, I think it was Ali Rez's course, Chessable course, as Raven suggested, but like I've been going through it kind of piecemeal, but no one on my level ever plays any of the lines, even similarly to what the course seems to be geared towards. We're just too stupid over here. We don't play like that. Alright, so that's just what I wanted. Now my king's free. Nope, that was a mistake. I feel like this guy does not have the tools to back up this attack he's threatening. That knight is annoying, but I don't feel threatened, per se. I have to be careful. This definitely is the kind of position that will get out of hand, and I feel some danger, but I also feel like this guy is being too aggressive for the tools he has available. But we'll see. Maybe the joke will be on me. Can I take... I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to keep the king in the center. We're threatening many things. I'll take that deal. I'll buy that for $1. I did close off my bishop there. That might have been a mistake. But I still think I'm doing very good. Let's get that knight out of here. He's causing me stress. How do we get this bishop in the game? I really blocked that bad boy off. That was a blunder. I think if you just... Yep. Dang it. I think he has checkmate. I think if he stops and thinks about it, he definitely has checkmate. Damn it, Homer Simpson. Dope! Okay. I think there goes the checkmate risk. Oh, no, it's over. This one is completely over. I don't know where the line is before it's acceptable for me to draw and I don't get a talking to, so... Let's let this guy have some fun and checkmate us. I'm going to probably zoom past most of it, and then we can begin the healing process together. Let's see if we get a stalemate. Eric Rosen, please give us your strength. Come on, Eric. Damn. Five mistakes, 6 blunders. That's absolutely terrible. But I was just staying alive as like essentially a joke. And then he had the easiest checkmate ever. And then he just stalemated me. Yes, that rocks. He was a good sport. Thumbs up. That's hilarious. I cannot believe that. Let's go against the redhead Mamba. I don't want this knight to be able to attack here. So I think it's good to push it even if I'm going to lose this pawn. It's a crappy pawn anyway. I almost cursed, but I didn't. I think I have to get this pawn up. That's my plan now. But that's so hard. It is a crazy position. I feel like I'm so close to doing very well, but I just can't crack the code yet. My best just isn't good enough. I think he's panicking a bit. He's got 2 minutes. There might be some tactic here. It's like when you move your queen here. That doesn't do anything yet. Do we get him? Almost. Nice. 3 mistakes, 5 blunders again. We're losing it, but number go up. We're doing pretty good. Even though the stalemate we know was a loss, but technically it's not. We're going up, baby. We're making moves. We're making plays. We're making blunders, we're making mistakes, but we're making plays. That's all that counts, last time I checked. Oh, why did I do that? I'm such an idiot. I was trying to avoid the fork, and I just walked into the fork anyway. What are these games? Why didn't he castle? Oh, I stopped him from castling earlier, I forgot. I don't know how we won this. I don't know what's going on. It must be some kind of move so brilliant I made that I don't even know how I did it. That was intentional. I let him fork my rooks by mistake. Wow, that was a pleasant surprise. So 3-0-1. Really should be 3-1, but who cares? I don't know where we started. I think we're up like 40 points or something. This is probably the best day of my life. So I'll get Raven in here. We'll do our thing. We'll go through the lessons. Hope you guys are there. I always appreciate you guys watching and all the positive comments, by the way. So thank you so much for the support. I hope you have fun watching, and we'll learn together. So I'll get Raven, and I'll see you in a bit.
Yes! Yeah! Oh, better luck next time, buddy.
We're back again, week number 6. How do you think you played?
Not perfectly, but the number went up. So we're counting this one as a big win for
Nice.
Team Kevin, Team Adult Improvement.
Yeah.
All the adults out there, we improving.
Yeah. Silencing all the haters.
Silencing the haters.
Some people said you weren't going to hit 1800 this year.
They said I couldn't hit 1040 or whatever we're at.
Yeah.
Look at me now.
Yeah.
We done made it.
Yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers, but you jumped a lot. We're on track for 2200. This is good. It's the osmosis.
Yes.
Yeah. You said you didn't play that well, but that reminded me of a classic Tarash. You remember Tarash, the guy who got that hate mail?
Yes.
Yeah, so he had a really famous quote. It's only a good player knows how weakly he plays.
Nice.
The idea is that as you start, you're gonna realize how error-ridden all games are as you start to improve. So let's look at this game. You played Jacques Benz, famous player.
Yes.
He's from France.
Yeah, it's too bad I couldn't play the French against the Frenchman.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Knight f3, d6, knight c3. So yeah, because I have a little treat for Kevin at the end, we're going to slowly switch him over to the bird, so I'm not going to comment on his openings. But I like this, though, the golden squares.
Of course.
Bishop g4, bishop e2, takes. You don't need to play so defensively against the pin if you're white. In general, if you're white, play super aggressively.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an analogy. Like, did you ever see Rebel Without a Cause?
Like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to be like the guy in who's driving the car in Chicken. You can, when you're white, you can really push the envelope.
Yeah.
It's really, as long as you're developing pieces, you can do whatever you want. Bishop e2 is fine, but it's a bit more defensive.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And it's also blocking the queen in. It's just a bit passive. He made a big mistake here. He should wait for you to kick him before chopping. So takes, c6, castles, knight f6, d4, perfect. Gain the center.
That's right.
That knight isn't on the golden square. Perfect time. He should have taken my course.
Yeah. Or watch the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Or learned English.
Yeah.
Yeah, until we come out with the French channel, he's in the dark here. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is a big mistake. Look at that. Augustus is going downhill. Because you see, this is the whole idea. This is like the counter pin. I call this a counter pin, right? You had the pin here, but now his bishop is countering it, and it's absorbing all the pressure. If he takes here, you're losing a piece. You see that? You can't take the knight because your bishop is dropping, and if you take, he gets his knight out of the way. Yeah, gotta watch out for that. He took there, which is an enormous mistake. You took, he played here. Nice, you just grabbed everything. Fantastic. Knight f6. Knight takes, g takes, bishop takes. Yeah, this is completely over. Okay, so here you went snacking for the pawn. You wanted to get that rook. You should just be playing for checkmate, though.
That makes sense.
Right, just go and...
I'm a greedy boy for pawns. I can't help myself. Yeah. I get what you're saying is correct in every way, but I can't help myself.
Yeah. You're a gluttonous boy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Augustus Gloop now.
So king d7, very nice move. You could have gotten the mango, but instead you wanted the lady.
Yeah.
Check, king c6, bishop takes, rook takes, check, d5, rook d1, perfect. Rook g6, did you crash through? Why didn't you crash through?
I don't know.
What's your explanation here? We don't tolerate failure here
I'm
at
soft.
GM Raven.
That's my explanation.
Look at this. This is checkmate. You didn't want a nice ice cream spectacular checkmate?
I want to take my time. I wanted to a leisurely checkmate.
You need to, like, when you have your opponent in your grasp, like in the chokehold, do not let them out.
Yeah.
Just break. Just break
No,
through
it makes sense. I'm not actually arguing. I'm joking around. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you're too focused on what are you worried about, man? You got like 5 pieces in the game. Just go and checkmate.
Yeah, you're right.
Just end the game. Or actually, okay, this is not as clear as I thought. There should be a checkmate here, but you can't play queen here because of this. I'm sure if we turn on the evaluation, there must be a mate, but... Okay, yeah, what you did is fine. Bishop g3, Velcro.
Yeah, exactly. I figured he has 2 rooks now pointed at nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's masterful technique. Check, king d6, rook d4, nice. Just going for the classic mate. I hate to spoil your bubble, this would also have been mate. Here and...
That's okay. I'm not
Yeah.
spoiled.
Rook d4, uh-oh. No, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm splitting hairs here. Bishop h4. Dude, you're rarely ever missing tactics now. Have you been doing that tactics book?
Yeah, I've been doing puzzles also.
Nice. Nice, very good. Yeah, you're doing
But I want
great.
to mount horn. There will be some errors, as you will see in other games.
It still seems like just overall you're playing at such a higher level than before. That's a fantastic win.
That was a good one.
Yeah. What was your do you get any game reviews? Or do you have to pay for them? I
don't-
bet you get like 1. 80, that's a very good number, man.
Watch the YouTube channel. This could be you.
With a little bit of help, you could be the best.
We should get rid of that giant dip. we need to get rid of the big dips.
Yeah, that looks like, what is that, like a seismic...
Yeah.
That's like a
A
seismic
Richter
event.
scale.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, whatever. Jacques Benz didn't take his opportunity.
Yeah.
So you had already beaten a Frenchman. Now it was time for you to beat the Irishman.
Homer Simpson himself.
Yeah. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Homer Simpson.
So d4, d5. Yeah, going forward, just play c6. Just because the thing is just play the openings I'm recommending to you, because even if you don't know them at all, you're only going to have to go through... You accelerate the learning curve vastly just by playing it.
Yeah, you're right.
So even if you, in the initial steps, you might lose to people like Homer Simpson and Jacques Benz, you gotta just tough it out.
Yeah, just take the loss.
Yeah, because this game, if you're gonna be playing the Caro-Kann, I mean, I guess if you studied the French, then it would make sense to try this. But if you're gonna be playing the Caro-Kann, I do think the Caro-Kann is a better choice for you. This literally is not gonna help you at all.
This is
game.
kind of unrelated, but gets into, like, I did do some of the course by, I think it was Ali Reza does the French defense course.
No, Anish.
Yeah, Anish. And so far, not one person at my level has played, like, the lines that he is countering, not even come close, like, a single time.
Yeah.
So that makes me skeptical of how useful they are at the 1000 level.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean,
No one is playing the correct thing. So learning the correct defense against their moves is like, they just are not playing what people are playing against in Nishigiri.
yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. The course is made for stronger people, but
Yeah.
it's still a good system. You will get it some of the time, and the thing is also we do expect for you to get out of this rating bracket at some point.
Yeah, of course.
Sooner or later, you're going to get to 1500 when people are going to start playing these other more natural things. But by the way, though, I do think C6 is just a much better opening for you.
Yeah, I'm down. Like, yeah, I didn't mean to. You know, it's just my comfort zone. I didn't know anything. I still don't really know anything about the Caro-Kann, but
Yeah.
we'll fix that.
Well, I don't think you know anything about the French either.
I don't. I also realized that with the way this is unrelated to everything, but the way the course is like the positions they're trying to get with the French is like so different than my understanding of what it was supposed to be,
Yeah.
which was I never understood it at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's normal, though, by the way. Like, just Grandmaster... Like, that course is, like, just simplified Grandmaster theory, so, of course, it's going to be, like, worlds away from whatever you're playing. But, yeah, like, even here, you're only supposed to play Bishop B4 against the Knight C3 stuff. So,
Yeah.
like, that's, just play C6 for now. Like, trust me, there's going to be a big learning curve, both with this and the French, but you don't... I think it's better for you to play the Caro-Kann long term, so...
Yeah.
I mean, the point is, though, at the end of the day, you can play these systems completely horribly, so long as you're watching out for tactics, you'll still go up in rating.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. I hope you beat this Homer Simpson guy. Don't give me any hints. Bishop E7, that's a mistake. Your knight is being blocked. So this is why you either have to get your knight out first and then put your bishop here.
Yeah.
Why do you think your pieces are struggling for squares here?
Because I let them have the center.
Because they got an advantage in space, right? They're digging your knight out of...
Yeah.
What's this square?
The golden square.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So, okay, here... H6. Okay, yeah, don't... Why'd you do that?
You know why. I just get scared.
Don't get scared next time. Just put your knight here. You gotta stomach it, because if you play h6, now you're really digging yourself into a hole. I don't know what the computer is smoking here, but because this is an awful move. Somehow or another, the computer likes this move.
I agree with the computer this time.
I'm gonna have a meeting with the computer and HR, because this is not acceptable that the computer likes this.
It's a pretty good move.
It's outrageous. Your knight is literally locked in.
It's a pretty good move.
It's awful.
Let's be honest.
The computer, something's going on with the computer.
No more pranks. We all know it's a good move.
So h4, c5. Okay, good. This is what you're supposed to do, like 4 moves ago. If they play the advanced variation, this is what you're supposed to do immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, like, I know, like, I'm busting your chops here, but ultimately, so long as you're watching out for tactics, that's all that matters. Check, knight c6, knight d2, f6. Good. You have to, right? You need to get your knight out. I don't care what the computer says. The computer can put it all the way up, like make it a full vanilla bar to the 8th rank. I don't care. This is a good move. You got to get your knight out. And it's really bad of him to do this. He should just leave this pawn here as long as possible, right? Because your knight would not be able to get out.
Yeah, I was happy when he took it.
Yeah. You say thank you?
Probably.
Nice. Knight e5. Okay, queen b6. Good. Defending the pawn. Or sorry, defending the knight. a4, a6, takes. Knight df3. I wouldn't really worry about the bar. You're playing normal defensive or normal developing moves.
I don't remember exactly what happens, but I messed something up horribly.
Explain to me this move. What was your idea of this?
I did have an idea. Oh, I wanted to get bishop to a3.
Dude,
a6 to stop him from castling.
That is a fantastic move.
Nice.
Yeah. No, like this, I wanted to just make sure. I didn't want to tell you it's a fantastic move until I wanted to make sure you had the right idea. Yeah, your bishop is going to slice through like a diamond. It's going to be beautiful here. The king is going to be stuck in the center, and they don't have a light squared bishop, so these squares are going to be super weak. This is a perfect move. Man, you play some moves, and I'm just astounded at how good they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see some bad ones in this game. If this is the game I think it is, we're going to see some real doozies.
Knight g6, rook g8, bishop f4. Okay, you snatched. Man, this bar is really going for a roller coaster ride. Bishop a6, good move. Knight ge5. He should not have done that, right? He should have drilled the second knight in. I don't know what the computer's up to. But anyway, knight ge5, bishop d6, g3. Yeah, you have to figure out a place for your king, right? So probably you should just... Oh, yeah, if you play king e7, they just take with check. I mean, sooner or later, you need to figure out what you're doing with your rooks. At the moment, actually, your king is quite safe, and because you had to move your rook, you can't really castle anyway. So just put your rooks on open files.
Yeah.
That's always like a good...
Rule of
thumb. Good generic, yeah. Rule of thumb, that's a perfect term for it. Takes. Yeah, why did you trade?
I guess I just wanted to clear up, like, there's just so much bothering the king. I was hoping I could start trading stuff off and clear it up. But then now looking at it, I could see that if I take the knight, he can just replace it immediately with another knight, so nothing changes.
Yeah, so you're not trading off the golden knight, you're trading off the bench warmer.
Yeah. Yeah, I can
Don't
see
trade
that.
off the bench warmer. And also the bench warmer was blocking the queen from getting in. So takes, knight e4, and yeah, the queen can go for a ride.
Yeah.
Did he check? He did not. Okay, you took. Very tense position, honestly, because if he checks, you can block him for the moment, so he's not immediately breaking through, and if he takes here, this is a mess. Look at this. You play bishop e2 and you poke his queen out. What is going on here? Apparently...
It's dead even when you had the bishop there.
What? Okay, I don't know. Oh, I guess... Oh, you can check here. This is the way to do it. Takes, and then you're hitting this, and this is hanging. This is the idea. Anyway.
I knew that there was something there similar to that, but I didn't have enough time to figure out the whole thing. But I knew that, like, I had all these pieces pointed at E2.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't figure out exactly what to do with it.
Well, the thing is that E2 is only useful for your queen, though,
at
the moment. So that's what's tricky about it. You don't have, like, multiple tactical ideas here associated with E2. It's only one. If you can get this, it would be checkmate. Okay, so takes, queen c2. You traded. You should be better here. You snatched another pawn. Nice. Takes. c4. c4 makes sense, but you're locking in your bishop. You're locking your bishop out. Why not just play this first and then do this?
I should have. It ended up being a big pain in my butt. My bishop was essentially useless for the rest of the game.
Alright, so bishop b7. Maybe c3 here to get your bishop in. Right? It looks a little flimsy here, but the idea is you're pushing it too far.
Yeah.
If he plays something like rook c1, you play bishop d3, the rook is poked. Actually, this is still quite tricky. I'm not sure exactly. This is a bit risky, right? It's much nicer just having it be concrete like this. So I understand not pushing it. Bishop b7, knight e5, knight b. Okay, I don't think you have to play knight b6 just yet, right? And when you play knight b6 now, things are getting very bad. You do not want.
Yeah, it gets pinned immediately.
Yeah, but I mean more than that. Just in general, like of course there's going to be an obviously obviously there's going to be a tactic here, but just in general, do not put minor pieces on open files if they're not defended by pawns.
Yeah.
This is a huge problem here. Like, if the knight was here, that would be fine, because it's defended by a pawn. Here, it would also be fine. Here, there's about to be a massive shish kebab. Rook b1, rook a6, rook cb2. Yeah, you should be dead lost here. The fact that you didn't lose this game is pretty incredible. So takes, knight c3. Yeah, you are literally dead lost here. I think already he has forced mate here. Check, check, and either, mate here or...
Yeah. This is the game I mentioned when we first started talking, that there's a game that the stalemate that I get is nuts. Not because of anything I did, just because he makes an insane move at the end of the game.
Nice.
So, like, I don't, you're free to, obviously, but I think that you could kind of skip ahead until maybe the last 10 moves, because it's essentially me flailing, waiting for the game to end, with no hope of stalemate or anything.
Dude, but this proves my point, though. Remember, I told you last week.
Big time.
These people will botch everything.
I said specifically, like, I'm just really playing to get him off my back. I have no hopes of even getting stalemate, but wait till you see the move he makes, and how like dead he has me, and then it's hilarious.
Yeah, this is awful. Like, this is such a terrible position here. You can't even really do anything about this rook. If you put it here, then he's just going to check you, and he still forks you. So you have nothing here.
I was aware.
You're completely hopeless.
Yeah. I had no hope.
Check. Okay, well, that's not good. Hold on to your knight next time. Until, like, you're about to get stalemated, don't just start giving away all your pieces, right? This is nowhere close to a stalemate yet. You still have pawns on the board.
Yeah.
Wait for the pawns to get traded. But apparently it worked, though. So takes.
This is hilarious.
Oh, I know how this is going to end.
You really don't. It makes no sense.
I would have said that it was going to end like this. Like, rook c5, you make a queen, and then he takes, and this is stalemate.
That would have made much more sense than what actually happened. It's hilarious what happens.
Here, he takes. Oh my.
That rocks.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
Of all the things, he's so close.
He's so close.
He's so close. He's like mate in 2 or something.
Yeah,
it's literally mate in 2. That is crazy.
That was hilarious.
That's awesome.
And he had so much time on the clock, too. It's not like he was like in a big rush.
That's so sad, though. Because, like, literally, he looked at this and he thought your king can't go anywhere, so he's going to just checkmate you next move?
Yeah. You wish, pal.
Oh, man. That's so terrible. That's so painful. I feel... Homer Simpson, I'm sorry, man. That's so tough. That's a really painful... That's such a painful draw.
Yeah. For him. For me, it was very, very enjoyable.
Okay, you played Redhead Mamba from Canada. You're playing all the nations of the world here.
Yeah.
Here, just take on e5.
Yeah.
Right? Because takes, knight takes, and then you play queen d5, and already they're stuck. They have to find this move, which is really hard to find. Most people are going to play this and give you the free knight. Just always try to poke their knights out of the golden squares. Whenever you can. Like, the golden squares will teach you about 99% of positions. Just think back to the golden squares.
Makes sense.
Well, that was a joke, mostly. It's not 99%.
I get the point of what you're saying, though.
Yeah. It's a very important rule of thumb. So takes... why not here?
I just didn't think of it.
You gotta always look at the golden squares, man. Turn the golden squares into red squares of pain and suffering. So knight takes, bishop e7. Why not e5 here, sir?
Once again, I don't know.
You gotta kick the knight out of the golden square. Everything in life revolves around either keeping your knights on your golden squares or pushing their knights off of their golden squares. Knight c3, h6, bishop h4, c5. What do you think about this move?
I didn't really understand it.
Well, it's kicking your queen out, so it makes some sense. But, like, what do you think about the long-term strategic ramifications of this?
It's way out there.
Yeah, this is an enormous weakness, right? Because you have an open D file. So that's the file that they need to be very careful about. They're creating huge weaknesses here. Mm-hmm. This is not the file that they want to create weaknesses on. So, and notice they're missing an E-pawn, right? So none of these squares are going to be under control anymore. This is an enormous blunder, strategically. They should already be close to lost here.
It did not feel. It felt bad. Like it didn't look good to me.
D5. Okay, why didn't you take this? Sir?
Because I didn't think of it. I guess I was thinking about it. I don't know why I don't know. I had some wacky version of things that.
Castle's queenside is okay, but this is just so much better because if Castle's queenside, they can keep everything closed with D4.
Yeah.
And they build concrete here. Like, if they had to take and maybe your queen moves out of the way and their queen is under a lot of pressure, this would be good because you're going to play, like, knight b5 and knight c7. You're way ahead in development here, right? But back in this position, if they build it concrete, then you can't really do anything with these extra pieces. Your developed pieces are more or less useless. Here you have a lot of good ideas. You could also push his knight out. A move I really like is check. And the idea with check is that if they do this, now their knight cannot retreat to this natural square, and now we play e5. Right? Because now if they take, they're trying to get their knight free. If we take back, then their knight goes back all safe and cozy. But instead we take here. And we're hitting their bishop, this other bishop is hanging. You would win a piece here. So that means going back here, their knight would have to go somewhere really uncomfortable. Like if they go to e4, this looks really terrible. Like takes, you have so much pressure here. Maybe I can't see anything off the top of my head to win immediately, but this should be very uncomfortable for them. Like the computer is saying this is much better for you. Probably e takes is just better though. If e takes, you're just up a full pawn, and then you just castle. Yeah, I think the big thing here, you only spent 30 seconds on this position. You should spend a lot more time though. Why would it be good to spend like 2 or 3 minutes here?
I have no clue. I don't have any time management strategy.
So the thing is you want to generally take more time either in extremely tactically difficult situations or extremely strategically important situations. This is extremely strategic important. Why? Because the pawn, you have a choice between more or less 4 pawn structures here. You can castle when he'll play d4, you can take, or you can push. Those are 3 enormously different pawn structures. So it would be good just to weigh the pros and cons of each of them. Like here, your pawns don't look that good, but you're up a pawn. Here, your pawns look very good, but you didn't win the pawn. Here, you're more developed, but it looks like they built concrete against you. Yeah, so whenever like there's an enormous amount of pawn tension, you should generally spend like, I don't know, a minute to at least think about which pawn structure would be ideal for you. You don't need to think about it every single turn, but at least when the pawn tension arises, just think about it once. Yeah. So castles. Okay, that's a big mistake. You took. Very good. Bishop f5. King b1. What was your mindset behind King b1?
I didn't want to get into any shenanigans with putting the bishop and forking my queen and king.
Yeah. Good. Exactly. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that would be a big issue here. Yeah, I was just asking. This is a very logical, mature move. This is, in general, when you castle queenside, sooner or later you want to do something like this. I really think that like you're absorbing all these ideas from osmosis or something, because I remember mentioning this in a quest, that King b1 is almost always a good move.
Yeah, it felt good, so it's definitely possible. I mean, if it's not from osmosis, it's from stuff you've literally said it to me explicitly.
Yeah.
So if it's not implied, it's just stated.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not learning from anyone else. I don't have a secret second tutor. I promise.
You're not learning from Red and
I'm not cheating
Mamba?
on you.
Nice. Knight g4. We are definitely going to test that idea, though. I'm not going to tell you a single thing about the bird. I want you to try the bird out next week.
I do edit a bunch of bird videos, so...
I would bet you're going to do it well.
We'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to try.
Yeah. Takes, h3, knight e5. Yeah, so right here you just have this extra, like, monster pawn. You just want to push it as far as you can go. Because the idea is, like, right here, look at how far they could load up on it. They have these 3 squares to load up on it. That's actually going to be annoying, right? If they put their rooks there and their queen there, then they're going to generate real pressure. But the further you go, the less squares you give them to actually even maneuver around your pawn.
That's a good rule. That makes a lot
right,
of
because
sense.
they're never going to be able to put their pieces underneath the pawn. That you're already controlling that territory. Yeah. So just d6 and literally... Okay, now they have 2 pieces covering this, so this might be a little more tricky, but just try to push them away and then keep going. I guess, okay, this doesn't work here because you're covering it with a queen, and if they play rook d8, you can't really defend it with a minor piece, so even if you're defending it many more times, the fact that you're defending it with a queen first means they're going to be able to take, but... I mean, the idea stands. Just figure out a way to get rid of their pieces, defending it, and just keep what is the word I'm looking? Bum rushing the pawn forward? Maybe that's the word?
Yeah, bum rush that fits.
Nice. Yeah, f4, just push the knight back, and now d7, right? They have no pieces covering this. You could also just play f5 as well to wall their bishop in, and then d7. And the idea here is, look at this now. Their rook can only come here. Perhaps they can stop your pawn, but they're never going to be able to like put 3 rooks behind this now.
Yeah.
Exactly. This was a really confusing topic to me because the thing is this is a bit hit or miss because at the same time when you go further, it's going to be much harder for your pawns to cover. But the idea is that if you already have some good pressure like supporting the pawn, then you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have anything, then the pawn is going to get rounded up. But if you already have good, like, probably 2 pieces defending the pawn, you can play this way. Even here, this is a bit risky, though. You would need to make sure that, like, knight d4 threatens to just completely discombobulate you. You would need to find this type of move, just to trade the knight off. Right? Takes, and again, the lane is clear. Okay, so you played bishop d3. They took. This is a little uncomfortable, because now you have double d pawns, but you can always trade this off with d4, so it's not the biggest problem.
Double D's.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No comment.
Am I right? Am I right?
Let's not get demonetized. Okay, so right here, yeah, I talk about this a lot. I think I talk about this in my course. If you have double pawns, isolated double pawns, the pawn in front is enormously weak because you can't defend it. You need to get the pawn behind out of the way. You need to just trade this off, right? If we took this off the board, you would be back to having the strong pawn here. So you need to just get this off the board somehow. Just push it, throw it, and trade it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. This is a super important principle, honestly, like, because as long as you do not trade this off, this pawn is enormously weak, right? These pieces being pointed there don't mean anything until you get that pawn out of the way. So knight d7.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, in terms of, I'm just going to not worry that much about the front pawn because it's gone, but it makes more sense to throw away the one behind it because I already have so much investment in that one that's up there.
Yeah. But why are you just assuming it's gone?
Well, not like I didn't like. If you watch the game, I don't forget exactly what it goes. I don't literally throw it away, but I'm somewhat resigned to if they want to invest a bunch of resources into getting it, they probably can.
Yeah, I think you're just making up a story for yourself, though.
Does that make sense though? I mean, I have one piece pointed at it.
Well, yeah, because this pawn is in the way. Just get the pawn out of the way.
Yeah, no, I understand that makes sense.
But I mean, more than that, also beyond that, it doesn't matter if they have like 5 pieces pointed there. Until this knight attacks the pawn, your pawn is protected. Right? Even if they attack this with 1,000,000 rooks, they're going to be trading off 2 rooks for a knight and pawn. That's not going to be a good trade for them. They need to get this knight over to this square. So your move is really, really bad because you're just pushing them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right? It's always about like what like them attacking it with the lowest common denominator. They do not want to attack it with their queen. So yeah, f4, knight d7. Right here, you should have played d4. They know what you want to do. You know what you want to do. What should they do here? If they don't want to allow you to...
Push.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they want to keep this pawn here, right? This pawn is literally their best friend. I think you would be doing fine here, though, because the thing is now after knight f6... Or, sorry, you could even play bully ball here, but I like g4, knight f6. How would you defend this?
E5?
Yeah, exactly. You remember, like, now that the knight has already been delegated this, the next troop up is the next... You do not want to defend it with the queen. Queen, they'll be able to take. But here, they would take, you would take, and they would have to trade off their queen first. Yeah, you're doing well here. You could always defend it another time with your queen, and you're going to kick their knight out. Something I really like here is that if they play knight d7, you can just leave your rook there. Because if they take, you're fixing your pawns, and... Yeah, do you remember how much these are supposed to be worth? Let me get these. These are the golden pawns here at this point.
How much is a protected passed pawn worth?
No, we're not talking about protected. We're talking about pawns on e5 and d5. If you're white and if it's black, it would be e4 and d4. Like on your king...
2? I'm guessing?
No.
1.5?
These are worth like 3.5 altogether.
Okay.
Or 3.8.
Alright, so 1.75.
Yeah. 3.5 to 3.8 in general. Like you're going to see... There are a lot of... Okay, maybe it's like somewhere between 3 and 3.8. It depends on the position, but there are a lot of openings where one side gets these pawns in exchange for literally giving up a full pawn, and they're still better.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's more than a pawn difference. And it makes sense, right? You're digging the knights out of all the golden squares. You're also digging the bishops out of their normal squares. This position, because there are fewer pieces on the board, it's not as felt, but if this was like a middle game or an early opening, this would already be completely winning for you. I guess this is still winning, actually, but it would be even more winning then. So knight d7, knight b5. Yeah, I don't understand this move. Why did you give up the pawn?
I was being pessimistic, I suppose.
But then make them waste the time at least, right? They still have to spend 2 moves to take it. Don't just give it to them for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, at the very least, just try to do something productive. Knight b5, you're just... I guess, are you going for that pawn?
I don't think I ever even take it.
Yeah, this isn't a good pawn to take. Your knight is going to get trapped there.
Yeah.
Already they have rook a8, and if your knight moves, they're going to win this.
Yeah, I was thinking that sounds terrible. It looks terrible.
Yeah. Okay, so rook e3, a6, you brought your knight back, golden square, rook g3. You can't really... You don't have anything over here, really. Why do you think you don't really have an attack there?
Because he could just push F5 and then block my pawn, and then I can't get my queen in.
Well, even if you play f5, that doesn't really do anything. Whenever you're looking at attacks, you want to think about access.
Yeah.
Right? There's no... You remember like that video you edited today where I have that mountain of pawns? There's no mountain of pawns here, so their pieces can look over here as much as they want.
Yeah, it makes sense.
In positions where there's all this access, where both sides have access, it's better to fight for the center. Just play rook e1 and fight on the center and hope to break through one way or another. This is not a simple position, by the way. Like, this is... I would assume this is more or less even. You're slightly worse because you have this ugly pawn here. This is a very hard position to handle, but the focus should be on the center somehow. Rook g3, f5. Yeah, I don't think f5 really does anything. If you pushed f5, his queen would still be protecting this, so it's not like your queen could do anything just yet. Oh, okay, I guess that was a spoiler. So a6, okay, so here, f5, queen e2, rook e8, good. Rook g6, very good. Okay, you took? Nice. You got snacking. Some reason, I don't know what... Well, who cares what the computer says? It's saying it's like losing for you. I don't know what the computer's talking about. This is... It looks like you have good pressure here. Yeah, I'm really wondering... What is the computer thinking? Like, I can't understand how this would be losing for you. At the very least, like, perhaps your pieces are a bit disconnected from anything that could be going on in the center. But the idea that you're losing here, that makes no sense.
Yeah, that's surprising. I would easily believe the way that it played out and how it felt to play. I didn't feel like I was doing great, but I certainly didn't feel like I was... He was still like very much on the defensive with no way around it, at least, you know, from our level of play.
Well, the thing is at the end of the day, he still has like 4 pieces that can access this side of the board, so your attack should never work here.
No, I get that,
it's 4 against 2.
He still has to keep an eye on it with like a significant number of pieces.
Yeah, I think the big problem is that your knight is going to get kicked off the golden square, and it literally has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
If it goes here, it's just on the rim.
Yeah, which is what happens, I think, in the game.
Yeah. Rook e7. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, I guess what did the computer want, if not rook e7? Was it rook f7? Okay, apparently rook f7 is somehow... Ah, well, rook f7 makes more sense. This rook is going to shift over to the attack, and it's going to be able to defend. Yeah, it's more multi-purpose. Because this rook had other things it wanted to do on the e-file. Right, like there are going to be moments where this rook would love to swing in and just try to crash through, but now because he's delegated it this responsibility, it's going to be stuck for a moment longer. Okay, so queen h4. Queen h4 is a mature move. b4, knight a4, c4. Yeah, this is looking tense. It's looking tough. d4. Very good. Don't worry about what the bar is saying. I think you're defending well. b3. Ah, yeah, so what do you think would be better here for him?
C3?
Yeah, I would assume c3 is better, because c3, he's forcing everything open, right? If you play b3, then this pawn is covering this. It might advance. It's too much, but what are you going to do here? If you trade, you're just weakening your king.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is completely hopeless. After b3, you're able to keep everything closed with a3. Very good. And now look, your knight has the golden square again.
Nice.
And you hold everything back for the moment, right? You're holding this pawns back. Once your knight gets in here, then your king actually is still very uncomfortable, because this pawn is making sure that your king never has an escape if he ever hits you with a back rank check.
Yeah.
So it's a bit problematic still, but at the very least, he's not opening any more files. A lot of grandmasters here would just throw this move in, if you could believe it. The idea is that then they're guaranteeing that the file gets opened, right?
Makes sense.
Because if knight takes, then at least they can start playing for sacrifices here. The computer thinks there's something wrong with this move, but in general, this is a classic idea. So queen c6, knight c3, very good. a5, g4, perfect. You got to open up file. Whenever you have opposite side castling here, in this case, you always have to open up the file so that your rooks can maximize their pressure against that king. Perfect. g4 here, knight e4, rook g1. Okay. Oh yeah, you had knight d5 here. I talk about this a lot in my course, right? These knights are always tangoing for these two squares. So as soon as this knight moves, even if it hops into the square, it's surrendering control of both of them. So as soon as this knight comes here, you can think about hopping
that
this
makes
way.
perfect sense. I didn't see the fork at all.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. And just in general, by the way, like what these knights are tangoing, so the golden squares, they're like they're nuances that you can learn. to master, to like rise the ranks of the golden squares. But yeah, the idea is that these are tangoing, weirdly enough, because they're looking across the center at one another. So for instance, if your knight were to move, then this knight could come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an important principle. Rook g1, knight takes. Yeah, this is still fine. Okay, queen b7 is a little dangerous. He's threatening this. Yeah, you got lucky here, buddy. Rook h6. Okay, somehow or another, queen e4 does not win on the spot here. I don't know how. I guess... Yeah, check. I guess after check, you would have to be very careful here, right? Because if you let his rooks in with an attack, it's game over here. You would need to make sure to play king a1 here. If you play king a2, then the queen hops in and you're getting mated.
Mm-hmm.
Both kings are super weak here, so this is really just tactical mayhem. I think rook h6 was probably a bit inaccurate because you really should be watching out for this square. I mean, maybe perhaps this, at the end of the day, this tactic works, but this looks extremely dubious. So here he played king f7 and then you got him. Good. Yeah, he should have played this, right? This would have at least tested you. If you choose like this square or this square, you're the one getting mated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, instead he just made a run for it, but of course this doesn't work. Check, and if he goes back, you have mate, and he blocked this way. Very nice. I mean, on the whole, you're still playing much, much better than past weeks. I'm always pointing out some minor inaccuracies, but in general, I think you're playing at a much higher level.
Nice.
I do want to see. I want to see. I want to see the game review for that other game. Is it going to give it to us? I think maybe it only allows you to get one game review. Oh, yeah, you've used it for the day. Okay.
Okay.
All right, another time.
That was the funniest stalemate I ever had.
I would love to see the graph there.
Yeah. That poor guy.
Yeah. Okay, so e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, takes, knight f6, knight c3, bishop b4. Yeah, so here you're supposed to take... He's supposed to take this way. He didn't. He took the other way. Yeah, he's supposed to take, and then you play bishop d3. This is Eric Rosen's special recipe. I've played this against Eric Rosen like 5 times.
Yeah.
He loves this.
You usually complain about it, that it's too dry.
Yeah, I hate it. It's too dry. It dries even my mouth out. It's like Turkish soup. Did I tell you about that?
You mentioned it.
The Turkish food, you know, I'm half Turkish, but my dad just can't stand when I complain about Turkish food. It's so dry. It's enormously dry. It literally hurts my mouth. It's like the soup grates against the roof of my mouth.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird description of
Can
soup.
you imagine dry soup?
No. It's just sand. You're eating sand.
No, but it's still liquid. But the thing is it's just so oily. It's so thick and so brothy that it's dry. Let us know in the comments if you've ever had Turkish soup.
Yeah, any Turks in the comment, please defend your soup. Justify yourselves. Explain yourselves.
Okay, queen takes, king takes, bishop d2, takes, knight takes. Okay, you went for the check. Very nice. You could have also taken on g7. You didn't want to get snacking?
I figured this is a great opportunity to get the...
So normally it would be, but the thing is now this pawn is hanging.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm taught that lesson immediately.
So the thing is if he plays king e8, then your move would make perfect sense. You just got the pin, and you're going to play, like, if he plays f5, you play f3, and you get snacking on e4. But he could play bishop d7, though. Yeah, this is tricky. So, oh, come on, man.
I know.
You can't be doing that.
I saw that there was a fork, so I'm like, oh, I got to move my rook. And I just moved it into the fork.
Oh. Okay, well, there are always several ways to get out of this. Okay, well, you did have the right idea. You could move your rook somewhere. You could protect it, first of all. Even in this move, it looks a little ugly, but you're going to play f3 next, boot the knight out, and then your bishop can hop over here. Maybe you could edit that in, like Mayor West saying, now I'm over here.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such a funny clip. But anyway, yeah, rook d3 doesn't really work. If you want to trap the knight, I mentioned this a bit in my course, put the rook 2 squares diagonal from wherever the knight would be, right? Because now you're covering this square, this square, this square, this square that the knight can run to. It doesn't work completely because the knight can still airlift itself out this way with the bishop protecting, but normally this would be enough to trap the knight. Like if this bishop weren't here, you could immediately play bishop e1 and collect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so rook d3 takes. You ended up winning the game, though. So, okay, rook f3 is also not correct, right? Because what do you need to do here? If you're going to be losing the... You can either... If you do this and they take, you're going to have to waste more moves to get the knight.
I was thinking I would just ignore the knight.
But sooner or later, you're going to have to take it, right? And otherwise, your rook is always going to have to be stuck around here. It's going to be a massive inconvenience.
Even though, like, I get probably what I'm saying is incorrect, but I figured his king is stuck in the middle of nowhere. If I attack these 2 pawns, like, I'm going to get this one like 100%.
Yeah, but that's only 2 pawns at the end of the day.
But then I could just harass his king for free because
how are you
no
going to with what pieces?
The bishop, because I took the defending pawn.
That's 1 check. That's not a long-term harassment. That's
yeah,
a
but
single
then
check.
But then he has to keep then he has to keep the rook on the back rank all the time because it'll never be
all the time. He needs to just play 1 more move.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of work.
I mean, evidently it worked, but like right now, I would just play rook g1. He takes, and it's not ideal, but that's the end of the time you've wasted. Because the thing is here, you haven't yet collected the knight. You're going to need to continue wasting time to get this knight. At the very least, you're going to need to spend 2 more moves, completely wasted.
Yeah.
The third idea is just to make a counter threat.
Yeah.
What could you do to make a counter threat? Splash into the beast. With Wolf Cola.
Make a counter threat. You just take the bishop?
Okay, taking the bishop wouldn't be a bad idea, ultimately, because then you would have 2 bishops against a knight. You would be down the rook to the bishop, but 2 bishops against a knight you're still going to have some long-range pieces, so that would be better. It's much better to be down a rook and a knight with 2 bishops, or down 2 bishops against a rook and a knight, than down 2 bishops against a rook and a bishop.
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, first of all, you got 2 long-range pieces still, so in some cases, your bishops might be better. Like in pawn races, your 2 bishops are better than a rook and knight. Another thing is that he cannot easily force a trade of the bishops, right?
Correct.
Whenever you're playing a losing position, it's a lot about just how easily can he force the trades to get to a more and more simple position. But yeah, you should just take here. Just hit the rook. If he plays this, you get a check. And then now you could think about taking. Or you could just play rook g1. Either would work. But one way or another, you need to... This knight is going to win a rook for itself, but at least then like the free tempi are over.
Mm-hmm.
Because here, I mean, I guess the way the game turns out, you're going to prove me wrong, but it seems like you're just going to have to keep wasting time. Rook e8, bishop c4. Okay, well that's what is he doing? Is he trying to castle? That must have been what it is. He's trying to castle.
That makes sense. I was wondering
why he did
that.
All right, so I mean, sooner or later you're going to be playing people who aren't trying to castle.
That's the whole reason he loses the game too. Because then he's like stuck in a horrible situation.
No, you can tell what happened here, right? He tried doing this and kept doing that. So then he said, okay, whatever, I'll just... this must work.
I play psychological warfare. That's my specialty.
Okay, so takes... Oh, no. Okay, good. You got him.
It's over.
Good. Very good. Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. Most people would just snack on the mango immediately, but no, he's completely tied down. Just take.
It's so jovial.
And you're mating.
That's right.
You're literally mating next move. It's mate in 1.
That's right.
Perfect game. Except for that huge mistake.
Yeah, I got like cut slack 2 times this episode with the guy that stalemated me and then this guy not knowing that he couldn't castle.
Look at this. It goes from this to this and then... That's crazy. Oh, that's so sad. Alright, but I mean, ultimately, though, you are playing better. It's definitely not a coincidence. Perhaps you could say you got a bit lucky, but even so, you still would have gotten 2 solid wins and maybe 2 losses. Which, yeah. The rating doesn't lie.
Number went up.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah, back in New York, there was an expression, ball don't lie, when you win a basketball game, and in this case, rating don't lie.
That's right.
1058, baby.
That's right.
So going forward, next time, I want you to play the bird. Do not try to study it at all. We're going to test it out. I would bet your rating is going to go up 50 points because, like, there's just... You've seen so many... You've edited so many bird clips. You've sat by me.
Yeah.
So much of the time. It's going to be a real experiment. You're not going to play it perfectly. You're not going to play it like a GM. But I would bet you play it at a higher level than E4.
What? And plus, my opponents definitely are not prepared for the bird.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you all later.
Bye-bye.